Some good news for the Texans, some bad news for the Texans, and something crazy might be going on at NRG. Let's get to the bottom of it in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do.
Something wild might be going on at NRG, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of it. We got some good news. We got some bad news as well with the Texans. The Saints are coming to town. It's a big one. This is a big game locally. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of New Orleans Saints fans in town, a lot of Texans fans, obviously, in town. The vibes haven't been where they should be. But if you can get to 500 before the bye, and I think it's important with the Astros beginning their series this weekend, then it would be a really, really big win. It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610. That's the number one Houston radio program. And you can also watch us on Twitch and YouTube as well. Please subscribe, like, ride along. Whether you're a Texans fan or not, this is the right place to get the pulse of what's going on. Exclusive interviews throughout the week at every game and let you know everything you need to know, want to know, and should know about the Houston Texans. We got good news, we got bad news, we got uncertain news. Now, when someone comes up to you and they say, do you want the good news first or do you want the bad news first? Are you a good news person or are you a bad news person? Say this is about 50-50, but we, for the sake of this, are going to start with the good news. The good news is the Texans should have the same offensive line consecutive weeks for the first time in 2023. It's been an offensive line shuffle, but all of the offensive linemen from last week, they practiced on Friday, which means they're most likely going to be on the field on Sunday. So we've talked about cohesion on the offensive line for at least 2 straight weeks. You're going to get that, and who knows when Juice Scruggs, the rookie out of Penn State, is going to come back, and who knows where he fits into this whole thing. But the good news is, for the first time in a long time, C.J. Stroud is going to have the same offensive line blocking for him at a game, the same one that did the previous week. That's the good news, and that is some really, really, really good news. The bad news, you're going to be without Tank Dell, who's been one of your best receivers. And there's kind of been like a back and forth with Tank Dell. 1 week, he's the best receiver. Next week, it's Nico Collins. He had the big play in the second quarter of the game against Atlanta where the Texans converted their first third down. He landed on his head, and he never came back. He's in concussion protocol. He's going to miss the game on Sunday. And I think C.J. Stroud kind of told us that this was going to happen, kind of let it slip, although it is common sense. Like, people who have gone in concussion protocol haven't been cleared less than a week later. But this was C.J. this week, and this is when I kind of thought, all right, yeah, Tank Dell ain't playing. This was C.J.
Yeah, it's tough. I wish Tank was out there, man. He's definitely one of our best receivers. A great player, and me and him have special future.
He's looking to his right.
But
You see him looking to his right there. Uh-oh. Am I saying that he's not playing? Am I blowing a secret? Watch this. Watch this again.
Player, and me and him have special future.
Oh, shoot. Am I telling him he's not playing?
To come. So, but this just like somebody goes down, next man up. Somebody else got to be ready, and I feel like we answered the bell when it came to that on Sunday, and now we got to do it again. And I mean, I think maybe even Tank might play. I don't know. I'm not sure what's really going on. So you never know what can happen. He might be able to play. So
nah, he ain't playing. And I think it was kind of obvious. I think we already knew that just based on what's gone on in the NFL. So no Tank Dell. So what does that mean? Does that mean we see a little bit more John Mechie? Do they continue to implement the tight ends? Can we get some Quinteriano, please, along with Dalton Schultz? Could Noah Brown be activated? Who knows? But John Mechie seems to be like a natural thought. And here is C.J. Stroud talking about John Mechie.
Yeah, Mechie's my guy, man. Dude's hilarious. That's my brother. Somebody who reminds me of like the type of attitude and swag we walk around with at Ohio State. Just like, man, we can't be like messed with. Like, nobody can be on this field with us and even touch us. and he walks around with that swag that I remember, like from my receiver room back in college, and I think everybody in our room now has it. And I think Bemech like kind of just naturally, like since he was born, he knew that he was gonna be great at something. So I think it's really special that we're starting to give him the ball some more. I think he deserves it. He's putting it on film time and time again, but just being open, being sound, being crisp, working really hard, and he loves playing football. Like you can just tell on how he blocks. So man, it's been a blessing to work with Mitch. We spent a lot of time off the field as well, just chilling together as boys. So best is my brother, man.
All right, it'll be interesting to see. I think it's natural that we see a little bit more of John Mechie. That would kind of be my guess. I do think we see more Mechie, but there is definitely not going to be Tank Dell. You got to think Nico Collins, who got pressed, I think over 70% of the time in the Atlanta game. Same thing's going to happen against the Saints. Their corners are pretty damn good as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But John Mechie would be a nice guess as to who fills the void with Tank Dell out. So that's the good news. Good news, offensive line. Bad news, Tank Dell out. Now we have uncertainty, the run game. And something happened at NRG today that I think deserves a little bit of attention. Maybe some responsible or irresponsible speculation. We'll get to that. Something that Dameon Pierce did today that kind of makes you wonder, coincidence or not. The run game for the Texans. That's the uncertain news, the run game. We don't know what's going to happen. We know that they're one of the worst run teams in the league. And we also know that DeMeco Ryans basically threw it on Dameon Pierce and his media availability. This was DeMeco Ryans. You talk about whether it's the blocking, whether it's the running back. This is what DeMeco Ryans had to say about the run game. And then we'll talk about what happened with Dameon Pierce that kind of has me wondering.
Yeah, when it comes to the run game, I think it's collective. It's all of us. I feel like our guys, they did a great job of blocking yesterday in the run game. And as we all know, the margin for error is slim in this league. So it's tight holes or guys, there's one guy in the hole. We have to be able to, make a guy miss. We have to, force some missed tackles there. But I think the guys blocked it well yesterday. We just have to stay after it, right? Encouraged with what we did up front yesterday from a run blocking standpoint and also in pass protection. So really proud of what the O-line is doing for us. We just have to make explosives when we can. When it's there, it may be slim, but we have to make them pay.
All right, right there. I mean, that's all you need to know. He said the blocking was good. He said we have to make a miss. He said we have to make explosives. So there was one guy who carried the rock for the Texans in the Atlanta game. Devin Singletary didn't get a single carry. Dameon Pierce got all of the carries. So when DeMeco Ryans comes out and says, hey, we blocked well, we have to make a miss, he's clearly talking about Dameon Pierce. And something weird happened today. And I think this is something to keep an eye on when we talk about the uncertainty around this run game. Dameon Pierce, every Friday, he normally meets with the media. Talked to multiple members of the media. He didn't meet with them today. Trainer actually got his stuff for him at his locker for the every day, I think, since Dameon Pierce has been a Texan on Fridays, he meets with the media. Every day this year, for sure. We've seen Dameon Pierce. He's been up there. Not today. What does it mean? Who knows? Could there be frustration? Could he have had something to do? Could it be a coincidence? Could it be something to do with nothing? Who knows? But what we do know is that DeMeco Ryans said that they're blocking well. He said they need to make guys miss, and he said they need explosives. But he said he's very pleased with what they're doing up front. Can't sit here and say it's multiple running backs when only one of them was carrying the rock. Something to keep an eye on. What's up with the run game? Why didn't Dameon Pierce meet with the media today? Could all be one big coincidence, but I'm keeping a close eye on who gets the bulk of the carries. I still anticipate Pierce get the largest chunk of pie. Could we see a situation where something crazy happens, like maybe Singletary comes out first? I don't know. But this is the first time all year Dameon Pierce didn't meet with the media, and it came 4 days after DeMeco Ryans said that he was pleased with what was going on up front and that Dameon Pierce needs to do a better job. It's not even the process of elimination. That's just common sense right there based on what the coach said. So the good news, the offensive line. The bad news, Tank Dell. The uncertainty, the run game, and Dameon Pierce. And also, Shaq Griffin will play. This is according to Aaron Wilson. So you're getting your corners back. And this is going to be really, really interesting. Keeping a close eye on that Pierce thing. Please subscribe, like, ride along. No matter what happens when it comes to this Houston Texans stuff, we are all in it together. Thanks for coming in the locker room.
Yeah, it's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localized.